Good morning. I welcome you for the important session on chemical reactions. It's a very interesting topic. My today's lecture is going to be on students introduction to chemical reactions. You are aware there are two types of changes. There are two types of changes which we experience in everyday life. What are the two types of changes? There are two types of changes. Let me see what I am talking about, students. One is called a physical change. Physical change. What do you mean by a physical change? I told you physical properties. Physical properties are what? Color, solid, liquid, or gas. This is a state, physical state. So, for example, students, you have water. Water is liquid. Water is existing as liquid at the room temperature. If I cool the water, what happens? You know, in the refrigerator, what we are doing, the water is converted into ice. Ice is the solid form of the water, and ice can be converted back to water also. You will heat it, it will melt and form water. Now, what type of change is this? What type of change is this, student? Are any new substances formed in this change? Water was, what is water? How do you represent water, student? You are saying H2.
H2O.
This is my liquid and this has gone into H2O, S, which is solid. So this is the liquid, this is the ice form of water. But there is no new substance formation. No new substance formed. Do we see any new substance formation in this case, students? There is nothing.
No.
So that means there is only change of state from liquid to solid or solid to liquid. You heat it, there will be gas. Again, that will be water gas. There, when such a change is taking place, student, this is called a physical change. So I can say that in a physical change, no new substances are produced. No new substances are formed. You can take, for example, here is your glass, student. This is my water. This is my water. And you put and dissolve in this, students. If I dissolve in this sugar and you stir it, what happens? The sugar is dissolved in the water and the solution becomes how it tastes when you will taste it. It will taste sweet,
Yeah.
but is there any new substance formed, students? Is there
No.
any new substance formed? What
No.
you can do, you heat the water, water will evaporate, and then you will get sugar back. So these are some of the examples, student, we are saying where no new substances are being formed. And you can see that I can convert solid to liquid and liquid to solid. Such changes are called, students, reversible changes. Reversible means you can go from water solid to water liquid, students, and come back to water liquid to water solid. This is a reversible process. The process is reversible, student. Yes or no? Tell me. I can reverse this. And
Yeah.
yes. So
Yes.
physical changes, you can see that they are reversible changes. And I can convert one into another. There is only change of the physical state here. There is a change in physical state, I'm saying. That is why we call it physical change. There was a change in physical state. Here, sugar or salt. Salt, you take salt, put in water, it dissolved. And what happens? There is no new substance formation. The physical change has changed. The solid form of the salt, or you are saying here that if instead of sugar you can take salt, the salt which you are eating, common salt, is NaCl. You are putting in water, you dissolve it. The salt solution is saline in taste, students. But what has happened? This solid form now is in the liquid form. Is in the liquid form. It has dissolved in water. But on heating, what happens? Water evaporates, salt can be obtained back. This is a example which we are talking of reversible processes. And now we are coming, students. What we are coming now? Important. We have you experienced, student, chemical changes in your home? Chemical changes.
Uh-huh.
I am saying you eat your food, student, every day. What is food? You are eating your food. Your mom places bread, butter in the morning. It goes inside your stomach. What happens? What happens to it? Do it remains like the same or something happens? Your food is becoming your body, students. Can't you believe it? You are eating so many things every day. And what happens? The digestion of the food. What is this, student? What is this process? Digestion of the food. What it means, student? And now you learned that the food which you are eating basically was nothing but carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Students, you are saying they are chemical compounds. And you will learn in more chemistry as you will go. This chemistry is very fascinating and interesting. I told you right in the first class, everything is chemistry around you. Observe it, experience it, and experiment it. You can perform activities and you will experience chemistry. And now I said, okay, in my plate, so many things are kept. I am eating, but what happens to them? They are all gone in the body. And we are saying there is a digestion of the food. The process is digestion of the food. In bio, you will see metabolism takes place. So what is happening? You are eating carbohydrates, fats, proteins, chemical compounds, student, the whole day, and you are drinking so many types of liquids. You are drinking juices and other drinks the whole day. Now what happens to them? Inside your body, you are saying there are enzymes. And what happens? You are saying a process called metabolism. You are saying there is a digestion of the food. And you are saying glucose. Carbohydrates are nothing but sugars are what? Glucose. And it goes inside the body and you are inhaling oxygen. And you are saying that it is producing some new substances. New substances. For example, you can say it is producing carbon dioxide, it is producing water, and it is also producing energy. Interesting, energy. Energy is very important. How do I work? How I will teach you if I have no energy? How my hands is moving? Some energy is there. It is coming from where? The food which I am eating, which is I am calling it the fuel. So students, here you can see that new substances have been formed, and this is a chemical change. Tell me, is it chemical change or physical change?
Chemical.
Chemical change. Okay, first we know that what we are eating is getting converted into different type of products in the body. You for living your body cells, there are cells in your body, they need food, there is a lot of water in them, there's a lot of electrolytes like sodium chloride, potassium, iron. So many things are required for body. Energy is being produced from carbohydrates, proteins are required to build your body. All this is a chemical process, students, which is happening inside your body. Okay. You have, you know what is respiration?
Yep.
Are you inhaling air or not? Tell me.
Yeah.
Experience it. Deep breathe in, deep breathe out. Oh, I see that. I never thought about it. That I am already inhaling oxygen, air. Air contains oxygen, nitrogen, and some other gases. They are entering into my body, students. And you say, if you don't get oxygen for 3 minutes, you will die. Now, what is this oxygen? What is happening? You are saying this is responsible for the digestion process in the body. Whatever substances I am eating, they are reacting with oxygen, and reaction takes place, students. As we have said in the first part, there can be no digestion of the food without the respiration process. So here, when I say respiration process is taking place, students, this means that you are, as I said, glucose, which are the sugars, we are getting from carbohydrates and other forms which you are eating, students. They are combining with from air, you are getting oxygen gas, and you are saying it looks something like this: carbon dioxide, water, students, water, and you are getting energy. I may represent it by heat. So inside the body, this process is happening, students. Okay, you have heard about photosynthesis, students.
Yep.
What is photosynthesis? How do plants manufacture their food, students? These
Sunlight.
green plants, you see what they take. They are taking carbon dioxide gas. You have sunlight, and there is a catalyst or a green colored substance called chlorophyll. What they do? So they manufacture their food, student. They manufacture their food by this process, and what they release oxygen gas. They are taking CO2 and they are releasing oxygen gas to it. So you can see that these are some of the examples where we are saying new substances have been formed, student. Have you experienced something called rusting of iron? What it happens, students, slowly and slowly, those iron you see, and it is reacting with oxygen, water, they are present in the atmosphere, and you are getting rust, something like reddish brown layer on the surface of the iron. Actually, that is a iron oxide compound. So new substances are being produced. Students, you can see that what you are doing Formation of curd from milk, student. Curd, how do you prepare curd, students? Milk. So what is happening? Milk. There is a change, chemical change, which is taking place. All these are examples which we know. Students, you have take another thing, for example. Here I take, student, an acid. You can take, supposing H2SO4. This is my sulfuric acid. Add few pieces of zinc. Can you tell me what will happen, students? What do you experience? What do you experience in this, student, if I add some pieces of zinc here? Something will happen. What happens? What happens? Yes, what happens, student? Zinc pieces.
It will break apart because it's an acid.
Yes, correct. I would see some bubbles, student, of hydrogen gas. Bubbles of H2 gas, students. Interesting. Gas is evolving. And you will see that in most of these reactions, some change is taking place, chemical change is taking place. New substances are being formed, students. New substances are being formed. I reacted zinc, it was in the solid form, with acid. This was in the liquid form. What happened? Some compound, which we will tell you, and hydrogen gas, bubbles of hydrogen gas. So we will show you later on this type of compounds. If I take HCl. Now what we are saying, students, we have started understanding there are two types of changes. One is a physical change and other is a chemical change. And in a chemical change, we know now new substances are being formed. We can say that, students. In a chemical change, new substances are formed. New substances are formed. That means there is a change in identity of the substances. Identity of the substances. And what will happen? The properties will change because new substances have new properties. Substance is new, compound is new, properties are different. So this is, as you see, gas is evolved. If you do another example, for example, if I have, students, solution of copper sulfate is a solution of copper sulfate. It is blue in color. It is blue in color. And you add zinc in this, and leave it for some time. Leave it supposing for 2 hours. What happens, students? You will experience there is a color change. Color change. And you may see that solution becomes hot. Solution becomes hot. Interesting that something is happening, students. New substances are formed. Sometimes we see color change, sometimes gas is evolved, somewhere we see heating effect. Heating effect. The solution becomes hot. You know that they put lime. What is that? CaO. Quick lime. Quick lime in water. Bubbles of heat. You can see the water becomes very hot. Very hot. That means some changes are taking place. New substances are being formed, students. And what will be the evidence for these chemical changes? What evidence we have for a chemical change, students? We are coming to third part of it. I'm saying what evidence you have for a chemical change. It is clear chemical change will take place, new substance will be formed. How will I know? There could be, students, change in color. Change in color. When new substances are formed, student, there could be change in color. As we will do in chemistry lab, in science lab, you will heat certain substances and you will get different type of colors. It is very common, which we experience. For example, I told you when I put zinc in copper sulfate solution and leave it for a period of time, students, there is a change in color. There is a change in color. So there is a possibility that color may change or color may not change. There are so many things that can happen. We will get more examples of this as we proceed further. Then their energy release or heat could be released in reactions. As the food you are eating, digestion of the food, what it gives us? Energy. You are talking of calories. How many calories you are eating? I mean, what you are eating? You are eating the substances, you are eating the food, and that is providing you energy, student. What we talk of calories, what calories is a unit of heat and energy. So reactions can produce heat energy. That is very important because you are running your batteries, your inverters, and all these are providing to you students energy. Chemical reactions are providing to us energy. We are aware of this. Cells, batteries, whatever you are using, there are chemical reactions which are taking place. Further, you've seen that in the examples, gas is released. Gas can be released. You have seen that metal reacts with acid and gas is released, student. Gas, how will you know gas is released? There will be bubbles. You will experience these type of bubbles, students, and gas have certain properties which can be tested in the science lab. Okay, that is also possible, students. Sometimes what happens, student? Precipitation is produced. Precipitation is produced, student. What is precipitation? For example, if I take, student, NaCl solution, NaCl, I'm saying sodium chloride solution. You have sodium chloride solution and you add, student, silver nitrate solution. Silver nitrate solution. You will get a precipitate of, what do you get, students? A precipitate of silver chloride. Silver chloride. How will I know? This was my test tube. This is my test tube, students. In this, student, I have a solution. This was my solution of NaCl. It's called sodium chloride. I added in this AgNO3. This is silver nitrate solution. So NaCl, I added AgNO3 solution. This is my solution. This contains NaCl. I am adding in this AgNO3 student. What happened? What happened, student? And what was the result? That I would be, I could see some precipitate, some solid precipitate, AgCl, white color, white color precipitate. Some solid separates out, white in color. These reactions, later on, we are going to tell you what are the reactions which are taking place. Therefore, students, it is important now that in chemistry, what will we be doing in chemistry, students? There will be chemical changes, there will be chemical reactions. And this is the study of chemical reactions. Chemistry is the study of chemical reactions, students. Then, students, what I can do from in the science lab, what we can do, student, for example, I'm saying I'm doing an experiment, student, or I call this as an activity, student. That what I do, students, I take a magnesium strip, Mg, magnesium strip. It looks something like this. In the lab, you have a magnesium strip. And this actually is a strip of magnesium. And student, heat it, burn it. I burn it. Student, this is my burner. This is my burner, student. You can burn it. I'm saying. There is already air, means oxygen present in the air. What will you experience, student? That magnesium burns with a dazzling flame. And you will see bright burning of the magnesium. And something will start coming, a new compound. If you take a dish like this, some substance will be formed. You will get from here some powdered substance. Powdered substance, student, will be obtained. As it starts burning, you will get a powdered substance. This is my watch glass. And this powdered substance is magnesium oxide, student. Magnesium oxide is formed. The flame, it burned with a very dazzling bright flame, and new substance has been formed. What we are trying to say, student, what happened? You are saying magnesium plus oxygen, and it on heating, you have burned it. We have burnt. What you are getting? A new compound, magnesium oxide, student. Therefore, we are saying it is a chemical change. Chemical change, students. Now, the question is, how will describe the chemical change? Next question. How to describe a chemical change in chemistry? Students, if I write magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide, I am using complete sentence. Is there any short way of representing? Short way of representing the chemical reaction? Chemical reaction. This is a chemical reaction. Now I am saying it is a chemical reaction. It is a chemical reaction. Chemical change, I am talking of a chemical reaction now. Chemical reaction means these two things react and new product formed. This, how will I describe a chemical change? Either I write the complete sentence, student, magnesium plus oxygen gives me magnesium oxide, but this will be a long thing. Why don't I find a short way of representing? How do I represent a short way of a chemical equation? If I know the symbols of these elements, if I know the formulas of the compounds, students, formulas of the compounds, then I can represent a chemical change by elements, symbols, and formulas. Yes or no? Tell me. Can I do it?
Yeah.
Okay. In the book, you will see there are symbols of different elements have been given. Hydrogen is
Yeah.
H, magnesium Mg, oxygen is O, nitrogen is N, sulfur is S. All these symbols are available in the book, students. We can
Yeah.
study them. So why don't we write the symbols and formula, how to write a formula, that also I will tell you. Then if I write the formulas of the compounds and the symbols, then I can say magnesium is Mg, oxygen gas you are saying is O2, and it is forming magnesium oxide. That is the formula of magnesium oxide. Rather than writing like this, I can write, this is called skeleton equation. In other words, student, I am trying to make my work easy, representation of these equations easy. Chemical reaction, I am representing by a chemical equation. And in that, I'm using the symbols and formulas of the compounds. So first thing I will do is, I will write the skeleton equation. First thing I'm telling you, skeleton equation. Is it clear, students? If there is
Yeah.
any doubt, we will stop. If there is any doubt, we will stop. You must understand each and everything. Then I proceed further, students. Can I proceed further?
Yes, go ahead.
You can interact with me. You can talk with me. You can ask questions. Later on, you will also get video recorded, which you can again listen anytime you have doubts and share it with your friends, students. We are looking for more of your friends who can come and join with us. It will be great pleasure. I love Canada and I would like to travel to Canada anytime. So it is such a beautiful place. So we our interactions are very comfortable. There is no stress level in any student. Anytime you have anything, you can stop me. We want that you should understand each and every word in a very playful manner. At the same time, we want to do a lot of questions which are important for your exams. So you keep on sending me your material or lessons which you are studying in the
Yeah.
college, students, and I will accordingly make lessons for that. So that in the exam you can do very well and learn chemistry for future. If you are going for medical or you are going to become a doctor, chemistry is very important nowadays. You know, a lot of research is going on in labs to find vaccines for coronavirus. All this is chemistry. Everything is chemistry. I'm telling you. The only hope lies with these chemistry scientist students who are creating medications, drugs, vaccines to stop any type of disease which spreads. So knowledge of chemistry is very important. All these compounds will be used. What you are eating is compounds. Your body is chemicals, nothing else. What is your body? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, H2O, water, cells. Everything is compound, students. The formation of the universe is chemical. So what happened? How the universe was formed? These are all gases. They condensed somewhere, solid, liquid, gas, everything. Now we understand what solid is, what liquid is, what gas is. Different physical state of the earth, magnetic field in the earth, student. There are iron ores, there is a copper ore, gold. So many things are there in the everything we understand from chemistry point of view. So chemistry will help us a lot in making our body good and perfect. Because I started talking of calories, how many calories are eating, how much fat you are eating, how much protein you are eating, everything, is chemistry. So here, I am saying now that chemical reactions are taking place. And we are talking of now chemical equations. Chemical equations. Student, in maths, you do equations. In chemistry also, we are saying we will write equations for these reactions. What is a chemical equation? Chemical equation is a equation of the chemical reaction. Equation of chemical reaction. I want to write an equation of, I'm saying I want to write an equation of chemical reaction. How do I say chemical reaction? You are saying, you told me, sir, there are reactants. Reactants which react to form products. Now we are talking of reactants and products. Students, those substances which react, what will they do? They will form some products. You are saying you have taken glucose. Glucose reacted with oxygen. And there were enzymes in the body which catalyzed this reaction. And it produced carbon dioxide, water, and heat energy. So reactants and products. Every chemical reaction involves reactants and products. And we write the reactants on the left-hand side. Left-hand side, student. You write the products on the right-hand side. Yes or no? Is it clear? For any change?
Yeah.
So just now you said that magnesium reacted with oxygen, and I say write the equation. This is the chemical equation. You are saying this is the chemical equation of the reaction which took place. Every reaction has an equation. I will write the symbols. This is the symbol of magnesium, oxygen, and products. But the problem is, students, you can see what is the problem coming here. In this case, you see that, for example, I say zinc reacted with HCl to form zinc chloride and hydrogen. Supposing I write like this. This is a chemical equation of reaction of, these are the reactants. Reactants are on the left-hand side. Products are on the right-hand side. Tell me how many atoms of magnesium are on the left-hand side, students? How many atoms are there?
1.
And how many?
1.
How many atoms of oxygen on the left-hand side?
2.
2. Here?
1.
None. Problem starts. I am doing a reaction. Here you have 2 atoms of oxygen. Here there is a 1 atom of oxygen. And important law of conservation of mass. What do you mean by law of conservation of mass, students? Can you tell me what do you understand by law of conservation of mass? Yes.
So it must, the mass must be the same even after a transformation.
Yes. Their conservation is very important, student. There are laws of everything, laws of conservation of mass, law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of charge, students. What they are trying to say, that if I react to magnesium, 1 atom, oxygen, 2 atoms, then where is another oxygen atom? It cannot disappear. And nothing can disappear. Nothing can disappear, students. And nothing can appear also. Only one substance is transformed into another substance. If something, if some particle is disappearing, it will appear somewhere else. Yes or no? If there is particle A and it goes somewhere, it has to come somewhere. It cannot disappear. It cannot vanish. There is a transformation, student. But I cannot create or destroy anything. It can be converted from one form to another form. You burn a piece of paper, student. What happens? it forms new products. But that doesn't mean it has disappeared. It has converted into new products. Here you are saying, this magnesium was a solid, oxygen was a gas, and this is a solid. But the question is, this oxygen has two, there are two of this. There are two atoms. And here you have one atom. And law of conservation of mass says that, what it says, that total mass of reactants must be equal to total mass of the products. Mass of the products. If I do the reaction in a closed way, I close it, student. If I do a reaction open, in the open, what will happen? The gas will go in the atmosphere. But supposing I do my reaction in a closed vessel, something like this. This is if I close it, student, if I close it from the top and I do a reaction in this, nothing can escape. Nothing can escape from this because it is a closed container. Now, whatever products are formed and whatever reactants are there, the mass has to be same, student. Mass has to be conserved. There cannot be change in mass because nothing can appear or disappear. There can be transformation, as I said. So I said mass is due to the mass of the atoms. Why do we have mass, students? Do you know that you are made up of trillions and trillions of atoms? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, now you started interacting with me. You understand science with me. Science, very interesting. You are student made up of very, very tiny trillions of atoms. They make your body. Different elements make your body, students. They form compounds. You know that in chemical bonding, you said elements react to form compounds.
Yeah.
These compounds are present inside your body. And then in the atoms, there are protons, neutrons, and electrons. So there are chemical reactions are taking place inside our body. But the total mass of the reactants must be equal to total mass of the product. That will be only possible, student, if the number of atoms, ठीक है, of reactants must be equal to number of atoms of each element. Now I'm saying of each element, ठीक है. Number of atoms of each element in the reactants must be equal to number of atoms of each element in products. Tell me yes or no. If there are two atoms of oxygen, there must be two atoms of oxygen in the products.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the conservation is not valid. Therefore, it is not possible. Conservation law must be valid. So, because the law of conservation holds true, therefore, the reactions need to be balanced, students. This reaction was not balanced. Is it a balanced reaction? The answer is no. Tell me, is it balanced? Reaction number 1 and 2. Are they balanced, student? Zinc 1, Cl 1 atom. Here you are saying Cl 2 atoms. Here you are saying hydrogen 1 atom. Here hydrogen 2 atoms. Is it balanced?
No.
Okay, very good. Very good answer, student. Now you understood this is not balanced reactions. This equation is not balanced. And why do we want to balance the equation? Why do we want to balance the equation? Because law of conservation of mass must hold true. It cannot be that there is more mass and after the products less mass. No. The mass must be equal if the reaction is done in a closed container, student, because nothing escapes. If a gas is formed, it will escape otherwise. Here nothing will go out. Nothing will go out. There has to be conservation of mass. What I am trying to say, for example, you can take a piece of bread and put it in a closed container, What happens? There is air also. air also inside this. After few days, you will find the bread is converted into different form. The bread is not there. It goes because it has reacted with the oxygen. But the mass cannot change because it is a closed container.
Yeah.
Reaction has taken place. New products have been formed, but the sum of the mass of reactants must be equal to sum of the mass of the products. Therefore, students, I am saying, student, what you told me that we should balance the chemical equations. Balance the chemical equations means because law of conservation of mass says that the total mass of reactants must be equal to, students, total mass of the products. Therefore, in any chemical equation, students, the chemical equations which will be right, the number of atoms must be number of atoms of in the reactant side, reactant number of atoms of elements on the reactant must be equal to number of atoms of elements in the product side. Okay? So we need to balance the equation, students. So for example, I said magnesium plus O2 gives MgO. So you are saying it is not balanced. It is not balanced. Then what method I use? What method I will use to balance, student? Now one of the method I am saying is heat and trial, heat and trial. Here there is 2 oxygen, I make it 2. If I make it 2, student, magnesium becomes 2, then I make it 2. Tell me now, is it balanced? Is this equation balanced now?
No, it's not.
Tell me how many
Oh, it is.
how many magnesium? 2, 2.
Yeah.
How many oxygen atom? 2 and 2.
2.
So
Yeah,
it is
2.
balanced.
It is balanced.
Now it is balanced. I balanced it. This is balanced now because they are having same number of atoms on the left and the right. Okay? This is, I have balanced this equation, students. This equation is now balanced. So therefore, students, we must learn how to balance the chemical equations. Questions will be asked on that, important. How to balance the chemical equation, student. This is a very important point. So there is a method which will be used by a student. We have written these world equations. We must balance them. We must balance them. So how will we learn balancing them? I will tell you an easy method of balancing the equations. I'm saying balanced chemical equations now. Balanced chemical equations, students. So what steps can we do in order to balance an equation? The best thing will be to take some example and then balance the reaction. If I, for example, I am saying Fe reacts with H2O, students. Supposing I have an equation Fe3O4 plus H2. Now supposing this is a chemical equation. We want to balance it, student. We want to balance it. So what steps I will use, students? Here, if I say what type of atoms are there, which elements are involved, student, which elements are involved? You have atoms of, in the reactant side, you have reactants, students. In the reactant side, you have what? Which atoms? Iron, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay? Which atoms are there in the reactants? And which atoms are there in the products? Same, iron, Hydrogen, oxygen, iron, oxygen and hydrogen. There are two sides,
Yeah.
reactants. How many? Here iron 1, here iron 3.
Yeah.
But you see, this is not balanced because iron is 1, iron is 3, oxygen is 1, oxygen is 4, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2. Now, what is the method of balancing, student? What step I will take? I will choose, student, I will choose the compound which has the largest number of atoms. Compound which has the largest number of atoms. Tell me which is the compound, either reactant side or product side. No problem. Either reactant side or product side. Tell me which compound has the maximum number of atoms in all this.
Um, Fe3O4.
Okay, correct. All right, student, I identify that. This has the largest number of atoms. 3, Fe3. So if it is Fe3, student, then I will try to make it 3. So 3 Fe. Okay? But there are 4 oxygens. How many? 4
Yeah,
oxygen.
4.
So I have to only 1 oxygen. I make it 4 oxygens. Now 4. After this, what happens, student? I will check iron 3, hydrogen, oxygen 4, oxygen 4. But what about the hydrogen? How many hydrogens it has now? 4
8.
into 2,
8.
8 hydrogen. 8 hydrogen atom.
Yeah.
So I have to make this 8. How will I make 8, student? I
Give it a substrate of 4.
4. Got it?
Yeah.
Therefore, student, this is a good way of balancing a chemical reaction. Students, what is our answer then? 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Can tell me now, is this reaction balanced or not, students? Does it have equal number? Is it has equal number of atoms? Count the number of atoms on both the sides. Count the number of atoms on both the sides. Students, are they equal or not?
3 iron, 4 oxygen, and 8 hydrogens on both sides. It is equal.
Equal, okay, equal. Very good. So what method used? The compound which had the largest number of atoms was chosen by me. And then I counted the atoms. This was 3, I made it 3. Then I count next oxygen. It was 1 here, it was 4. I made it 4. And once I make it 4, then I see hydrogen has become 4 into 2, 8. And then I multiply with this to make it. This is called a hit and trial method, student, which can be used for balancing the reactions, which can be used for balancing of the reaction, students. Now, for example, we have a question. What we say, balance. Important questions are always coming on this. CH4 plus O2, students. This is producing CO2 and H2O. If I have to balance this equation, student, how will I balance? Okay, you have 1 minute to try, then I will solve it. You are having 1 minute, students, to try the balancing of the equation. Very, very important topic. How to balance the equation. We have to learn it and learn it very clearly. What method I told you, you can try the same method. Choose that molecule, choose that compound which has the largest maximum number of atoms.
Okay.
Maximum number of atoms is which one?
Hydrogen.
Which compound has the maximum number of atoms here?
CH4.
CH4 is the methane actually. This is called methane. So here, student, carbon is one, no problem. But how many hydrogens?
4.
4. So I have to make it 4. How will I make 4? Multiply by
2.
2. Now it becomes 4. After this, how many oxygens are there now on the product
4.
side? You
4.
have 2 oxygen
And then 2
atoms.
more.
How many oxygen? You have 2 plus 2, 4.
And then
So
you put
then
a
how will
2.
you make it 4?
2 on the other side, on the oxygen.
Multiply by 2. So now you check it. What is our answer coming? CH4
Plus 2O2.
2O2 CO2 plus 2H2.
2.
Tell me, is it balanced?
Yes.
Therefore, this is an easy way of balancing the equations. I have to try how I will take the compound or the substance which has largest and maximum number of atoms. And then I will use what I call as a hit and trial method. On the other side, I will try to see how can I balance these equations, students, because there are going to be questions on balancing is very, very important for students. Students have difficulty in balancing the equation. So this is a way to balance the equation. In any case, one of the method which we are using is to um, count the number of atoms on both the sides, and then we are able to do the reactions. Any doubt here? Any doubt, students? Because we'll do questions also on this, no problem. So,
No.
okay, very good. Very good, students. So up to now, student, what I told you, what we have told you, what we have learned, student, what we have learned up to now, what is a chemical change? Tell me, what is a chemical change, students? What is a
Chemical change. A change that cannot be reversed.
Yes, yes, and new substances are formed.
Is new substances are formed.
Okay. What is the evidence? What evidences you get for a chemical change? What are the evidences we told you?
Um,
You can produce a gas, you can change the
gas.
heating or some precipitate, some color change, anything can happen. Evidence we said color can change. Color can change, student, or it
Odor.
be heat. Heat can be produced in the reaction. There can be gas which can be produced.
Is change in smell also an evidence?
Yeah. So all these changes are evidences that reaction is taking place or precipitates are formed. Then what is a chemical equation? What is a chemical equation? First we write the skeleton form. Skeleton form means writing a chemical reaction in terms of short form symbols and formulas. So that is a skeleton form. We write the chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulas. ठीक है? Chemical reactions. Fourth, what is the law of conservation of mass, student? We learned it.
Product is equal to same as
Yes,
the atoms.
yes, yes, yes. Then we learned how to balance the chemical reactions. Right? Any doubts here, students?
No, not at all.
Do you have any doubts?
No, you made it seem pretty simple.
Okay. Okay, then we will continue more about this. Very interesting things are going to come in this topic. As per your course, keep on sending me your um, notes and everything so that I can start take those whatever topics you want. They will be all covered, and we will send you the video recorded also. It was a nice session with you. I thank you because you have been able to answer large number of the questions, and it is clear you understood each and everything very, very clearly.
Thank you.
And okay, then I'll see you in my next lecture. My best wishes. Take care, and you. I am. It's morning time for me, and you will be sleeping now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay then.
Right.
Bye
Have a good
bye.
night.
We'll see you in the next class.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.